seekers, joy seekers, people, freedom seekers, so you want something a little extra in your life. Listen, we are in day 2. Me and Laquetta are here checking out this new side hustle. I like to say that, listen, not only do I show you how to find a side hustle that you love, but I'm always out here personally looking for my next side hustle, because again, I've gotten a taste of this freedom and I am never, ever going to go back. And so many different ways to kind of, plug in and get these multiple these multiple sources of income. And just so you know, listen, these multiple sources of income is not just to stack my cash per se. It's about legacy, guys. It is about building a life where you don't have to rely, where you are not relying on any one source except Jesus Christ. Okay. He's the only source, right? But not the government, not one corporation, not one person. You literally have multiple streams so that you've diversified, so that you have options in the case that something happens, the world shuts down, or something crazy happens. You have options. So Laquetta and I are just here today to just share our insights on day 2. So what I wanted to talk about today is literally kind of, how do you decide that you're going to actually go and do a certain type of a side hustle? Because a lot of people struggle with that. They have all these ideas. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. But when it comes down to it, yes, there are probably thousands of things you can do, but this is the key I like to kind of put out there. You don't want a second job. You do not want something that's literally going to cause you a whole bunch of grief and extra take away from your time and stress. Right. You need something that you're going to be energized about. And so how do you choose something that you're going to be passionate about? So I want Laquetta to come and just kind of share, like, we're here for 3 days, guys, 9 to 6, roughly, for 3 days. What makes people give up 3 days of their time and decide to come and learn about or get involved with the side hustle? So Laquetta, what's that look like for you?
Yeah, so, to Nikki's point, right? It's not something that you want to be doing that's going to add stress, right? We're here for the next day and a half. We've been here day 1, we're here day 2, because we want to change our situation. Okay. That motivation to not be in the same place you are right now, that's going to be your motivation. It's going to encourage you, when things aren't looking pleasant, when you're not getting the sales that you're maybe looking for, that drive to be in a different position tomorrow than you are today. That's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to keep you, have you come into seminars like today to get that education so that you can learn. Because like I said yesterday, you're at a higher risk doing nothing. But when you invest that time, when you're taking that step, taking that step of faith, getting out there, getting outside of your comfort zone, you're setting yourself up better for the future than you are today.
That's exactly right. I love that. And as we kind of, just to even go a little deeper and a little bit more specific, just let's take the field of real estate, for example. Some people might be deeply attracted to that. I will tell you that when I think about real estate, or when I thought about it, I was like, no, not for me. I mean, just because, like I said, I'm thinking about the house, the hassle of having to deal with properties and deal with tenants and deal with flips and wholesales. And there's like so much involved with that. I mean, some people are they are like, that's their thing. That is their jam. But that wasn't necessarily my thing. But when I heard of this particular niche of real estate, like I said, this was we're talking about doing a little research, taking some money and, putting it in something that has a return that's higher than any investment that I absolutely had, and it's tied to real estate. Because again, if you follow, anybody who's made any money in the world, anybody who's wealthy right now, they all have real estate portfolios. And so we know that real estate is where the wealth is. But, like I said, it might not be everybody's jam to be hands-on, but is there another option? Is there another opportunity? And so when you're thinking about your side hustle, listen, you really do have to have some level of interest in it. I mean, just because it's making money, if you're going to be drained every time you think about it, or like I said, it's going to take away from,
it's got to be worth it.
It's really got to be worth it.
It's got to be worth it. And, as Nick was mentioning, like, you got to be passionate about it, because everything is not going to be sunshine and roses.
No,
everything is not, the way is not going to be cake. Okay. There's no gold, yellow brick road. Okay. Waiting for you. When you decide to take that, it's going to be hard. Right. So you have to have something that it's just easy for you. Okay. And let's just point that out. There is literally something that each and every one of us was created to do.
That was super naturally.
You don't even think about it. Okay. Like, I have a daughter, she enjoys like fashion. Okay. And she, just comes up with these concepts and these things. And it's just so easy for her, right? So what is it that is just so easy? You do it without any thinking.
Yep.
When you do it, you're passionate about it. You're energetic about it. You come alive when you talk about it.
Absolutely.
And whatever that thing is, how do we turn it into that side hustle?
Yeah.
So it's like you're not even working.
You're not, and that's the key. I mean, you're going to enjoy it so much. And that's what I love. The guests that I've been having on, a lot of them say, listen, I mean, it's like I'm not even working because I mean, I enjoy so thoroughly what I do. And so that is what we're talking about today. Yeah. But we wanted to just, again, share another one of the insights that we got from the sessions today. And this one was really good. And so again, as you're considering like what a side hustle might look like for you, kind of what, because let's just be real. A lot of people are scared.
They're afraid.
They're scared to step out. And I get that. Like I said, if you've been conditioned to believe that, this is the safest path, that, staying in the 9 to 5 is the safest path, then, it's hard to really think about what does it look like to step out. And so there's a formula that they gave us that I think is amazing.
I think so too.
In terms of really kind of assessing whether or not you should step out and take a chance on something. So
exactly.
Lakota, do you want to kind of throw out that first?
Yeah, absolutely. So while we're talking about doing a side hustle, the first thing we have to address is our mindset.
Yeah.
And so some part of the formula is asking questions from a different perspective. Yeah. So that first question, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't have time. The question you should be asking is, what is my investment?
Yep.
To step out, to set my family up for freedom, to take that next step.
Yes.
What is my investment?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I was just going to say, and even right before you ask the investment question, what you're asking is, if somebody came to you and say, I have a fantastic deal for you, something that literally is going to put your family ahead in a major way.
Yes.
Okay. Instead of your first thought being, well, what does that cost? Mm-hmm. So what that's a consumer mindset. That's you feeling like, oh, wow, somebody's coming in here and they want to take something away from me, as opposed to, wow, somebody's trying to get something to me. They're trying to give me something. Yeah. And so if you think about it in the terms of, well, what's the investment for that? Then you're thinking investment all immediately puts you in the frame of mind of, there's going to be a return on the other end. Whereas cost, when you think about what is the cost of something, that immediately puts you in the mind of, what do I have to give away? Yes. What am I losing?
What am I losing? And again, we got to change that mindset, right? Because if I'm making an investment, like there is a return on interest on your investment. ROI all day. Okay. Yep. If I go spend some money, I'm not getting it back. It's spent. It's gone.
It's spent.
It's gone. So
that Chick-fil-A, it was good, but it's, going out in the drought, you get nothing for that, but what? Some poundage maybe.
Exactly.
Depending on if you're taking too much of that in, right? So the next question, actually that flow right into question number 2 is, somebody presents you with an opportunity that's going to put you or your family ahead. First question is, what is the investment? Mm-hmm. Okay. When they tell you what the investment is, again, at this point, your mind should be open just to see, okay, well, what is this going to look like?
What am I going to get out of it?
What am I going to get out of it? So that second question is, okay, what is my return on investment? So let's just kind of pull a scenario out here. Let's just say, I came to you and I said, listen, if you pay me $500, I can guarantee that I can get you $5,000 back. Now, in reality, if somebody said, hey, hand me $500 and I'm going to give you $5,000, I mean, is that a good return on investment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
I think we would all agree that that's a good return on investment. So if that's the case, then, you've evaluated that, okay, the return is going to be good. Yeah. The next question is, okay, what's the best case scenario that I'm going to now get this return? Yes. So you have to ask yourself, okay, are we talking about 10% odds, 20% odds, 50% odds? And so you do have to do some research and some due diligence in order to understand that, what does the best case look like? And so if I said to you, you give me 500, I'm going to give you 5,000. And like I said, I can guarantee you there's an 80% chance that this thing is going to happen. You follow and do what I say, you give me that, and you follow and do what I say, there's going to be an 80% chance that you are absolutely, and even if you don't get the 5,000, I'm going to guarantee you that you're going to be somewhere in the 4-figure mark.
Yeah.
Would that still be a good deal? You have to
that would be a good deal for me. Okay, because that's returning my money multiple times. I'm getting my 500 plus 4,500. What? I don't even know the math on that right now. That's doubling. That's like that's like 200 times.
Yes.
Okay? I'm getting my money back 200 times, a couple times. So, it's got to be worth it, and when you're thinking about your return on investment, think about what you're leveraging, right? You're building wealth.
Yes.
Okay. You are having your eggs in more than one basket.
Yes.
Okay. When you have that one job, okay, like we talked about yesterday, COVID came, shut everybody down.
Yes.
Okay. If you had just that one stream of income, you
had to pivot and pivot.
You had to
figure it out. Yeah.
You had to pivot. So think about your return on your investment is having more than one basket to pour into and creating that safety for yourself and for your family. Yeah.
Oh, Faith, awesome. Faith. So the question Faith has is, are there mentors to help develop a side hustle from a non-traditional passion? And Faith, I want to make sure that I understand the question correctly, but just so you know, yes, there are people who are out here now. Like I said, I do it as a business. There are certainly people who would be willing to maybe mentor you, and even in your own field. And so you have to identify people who are doing things that maybe you would have a passion for, and just ask them, hey, you are doing something that I would love, to absolutely do.
Learn about the journey, how you got there. Absolutely. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, have a conversation.
And I think sometimes from those conversations, you get some nuggets.
Yep.
They may not be able to mentor you in like the traditional sense,
right?
But they'll be able to offer guidance and give you some nuggets to get to the next step.
And not only that, like I said, to your point, even if they're not able to formally be maybe a mentor for a year or two, let's just say you have 4 or 5 of those same folks.
Yeah.
Then you're getting insights from all these different people.
Absolutely.
And let me just share with you kind of, as we're thinking about this strategy that we're talking about, that was my situation. So the question is, what's the best case scenario? And then the next question is, what is the worst case scenario?
Yes.
So let me just give you an example from my own experience. When I got into business, I knew absolutely nothing about business. I knew my craft. I knew how to coach. I knew what my skills and my gifts were, but I didn't know anything about business. But I was super excited to get out here, right?
Yeah.
And so, I just started selecting coaches kind of, based on what I knew at the time, which was nothing. So I had several coaches that while I got something, I didn't get maybe everything that I needed to get.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, am I going to say to myself, wow, because I didn't get 100%, because I didn't get everything I needed, that wasn't worth it? No,
absolutely not.
I don't look at it like that. I look like I'm further ahead now than I was before.
Absolutely.
So as you're considering, a side hustle and kind of what that might look like for you, you have to ask yourself, let's just say I didn't get the best case scenario. If I got something from this, let's say I got 30 or 40%, would it have been worth it? Am I farther along than I would have been otherwise? And so these are things to consider.
Absolutely. 30%, sure, maybe you wanted to double your money, but 30% from just putting some effort, getting 30% back is better than it just sitting there.
It's
your talent just sitting there, your money just sitting there. Sitting around watching Netflix, eating cheeseburgers.
This is what I'm saying. So your life. So listen, if you really think about it from that perspective, if you are living this life, and this is my gauge, if today is August the 13th, 2022, if on August 13th, 2023, my life looks exactly the same, okay,
I'd be more worried about that.
That's unacceptable.
That's scary.
That's unacceptable.
That's scary.
But if you can say on August 13th, 2023, you took a leap and somebody gave you something that got you 20 or 30% ahead. Like I said, you're moving in a direction. You can say, I can see where I moved from.
There was movement.
There was movement. Okay, so I used to go to work, church, eat, clean, cook, and then come back home, and that was my whole life. Now I've actually added some education in there where, I actually opened up an investment account, or I joined a league, or I did something else, and my life looks a little bit different because I did something different. So you have to look at it from that perspective.
Absolutely. And then, it looks like Faith had another comment, she said she found a create coach. It is not her business coach, and that's okay. Right? That coach is going to help you perfect your niche a little bit. Maybe, talk about
a very long time. Now I'm a business coach, and the career coach is someone who's helping someone, it's still the same concept in the sense that you're discovering your strengths. Creative coach. Okay. Yes. Okay. So creative coach. Yes. These people are going to be very, very different. And I think this is what you have to keep in mind. Different coaches have different skills and different strengths that they're going to pull out of you. And so one person is not going to be able to give you everything you need. Go ahead, girl.
I don't know. What have they been talking about all morning?
Yes.
Power team.
Power team. You need a team. You got to have a team.
You're going to have your creative coach. You're going to have your business coach. You may even have a marketing coach.
Yes.
You know, and different things like that. So understand when you're starting that side hustle.
Yes.
First of all, you don't have to do it by yourself.
That's right.
Okay. First thing, you need to build your team.
Yep.
And every person in your team is going to have a different purpose.
Yeah. And let me say this too, because a person coming out on the side hustle is like, you're talking about a team and, you know, this, that, and the other. How much money are we talking about? Listen, it's not even like that. You know, your team can literally be, like I said, at some point, you probably are going to have to engage somebody, you know, for payment. But it's like your team can literally be like, I use my daughter as a part of my team. Okay. And so she's helping me with all the video and marketing and editing things. I have, you know, a mentor that I tap into, you know, as a part of my team, just for some advice about different strategies. And then I have the people that I pay. And so it's, you know, your team can be a large combination of people. Again, but it's where somebody's pouring into you. I think the biggest thing is you need to be connected with somebody who has something that you do not have and who is further ahead than you are right now. Absolutely. If you can have those two things, and the people that you connect with, like I said, whether you pay them or not, then you are going to make movement.
Absolutely. And then as I reflect on my life, on my job, I have different team members for different reasons.
Yes.
I have a coach that helps me to exactly do my job. Okay. He's there to make sure I'm doing my job to the best of my ability. Then I have another coach to navigate the organization, right? So if I were to make a move this way or that way, I can talk to that person and we can come up with a strategy of how to get there. So really understanding who you have, you know, is going to be important. And just know you don't have to pay everybody.
That's right. That's right. It's not about paying everybody, but I'm going to say this, you know, when it comes to acceleration. This is one thing that I've learned. Again, like I said, I've been in this game for a few years now, you know, long enough to know that, you know, if you're going to accelerate, if you're going to get the knowledge that you need, then, you know, honestly, it does require an investment. Again, this is for acceleration. Could you go out there and YouTube and Google it yourself? You could. I believe that you could. But when I tell you, I mean, I don't know that you would make it through the business game just doing it that way, because when the hard places hit, you know, you need somebody you can go to. You need somebody you can bounce ideas off of. You need somebody who can actually sometimes just take the reins and say, listen, just go do A, B, and C.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And if you don't have that and you're just out here trying to do it on your own, listen, you know, that's just a really, really hard road. And most people just, you know, they don't have the time, the bandwidth to really be able to take that road alone. And so that's why we're out here. Like I said, we invested in this particular side hustle that we're doing. We're already strategizing about how we're going to, you know, take the learnings that we have and actually put that to action. And so again, the reason why I do, you know, these lives and why I'm so passionate about side hustles is because, like I said, you know, I have seen the power of being able to take your skill, offer it to someone, and help them accelerate and grow and move forward. I have seen what that's done in my own career, and I want to help people do the same.
Absolutely.
Listen, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars, you know, you know, trying to figure it out. And if I could save you that, you know, then I want to be able to do that. But the last question that, you know, when you're thinking about that whole investment piece of things, you have to really ask yourself, if the worst case happened, how would I handle that? Okay.
Yeah.
And you basically have to settle that in your mind because, you know, I call it the what if disease. You know, you're going to have the, well, what if this and what if that and what if, and all these weird little exceptions and these weird little, you know, things, you know, what if the sky falls in and, you know, you're not able to get me on Zoom. I mean, like people come up with the weirdest little exceptions, you know, their mind will just play these games.
I agree.
When it comes to fear. You have to come to the conclusion that what if you invest in something and the worst case scenarios happen? How is that going to affect you? Is your family, you know, going to miss meals? You know? Are you going to lose your life? I mean, you have to really kind of just drill down. What am I going to lose really?
Absolutely. And then asking yourself, right? So I keep talking about taking action versus not taking any action.
Right.
Worst case scenario, you do nothing. You continue your 9 to 5, you know, you know, Monday through Friday, you know, you work 30 years, you know, and you take no action. Okay, sure. You have a nice little savings, maybe, you know. But like, are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? or, you know, taking some action. You can think about, I'm going to be better off.
Yes.
I'm going to have a little more wiggle room,
Yes.
you know, to travel, to support my family and things like that, you know? So like, okay, don't do anything. If you're good and it's like, okay, you're good where you are, then okay, sure. Then I'm like, okay, I that's the worst case scenario and I can handle that. But if you're saying I can't handle just sitting here, just taking
and letting life just pass you by.
Life pass you by, not taking any action, then, you know, that ought to tell you something that it's time to make the next move.
It's time to make the next move. Let me just say this, and I've learned this and I've embraced this actually. A lot of people are scared of failure, but really failure is a life where you didn't fully live, in my mind. That's the conclusion I've come to, because if you take a chance on something and it doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to, you know, and so, you know, you might call that a failure.
It's not
listen,
failure.
Is it failure? Did you learn something? You know, do you now know, oh, wow, I'm not going to try that again. Or, oh, wow, that had a good result. You know, I'm going to move forward with this. Or, you know, that wasn't quite what I was looking for. I know now kind of what to look for. Is it really failure?
It's not failure.
If you've learned something,
it's not failure.
You know, and so that's when you're willing, you know, and that's the whole point of it. People who invest understand that there's risk involved, but they also understand that on the other end of risk is a reward. Whereas if you just sit there and let life happen to you, there's no reward. There's nothing.
Reward. There's nothing. One of the assignments that I appreciated they had us do, they had us read the book Who Moved My Cheese.
Yes,
okay.
That was a good book.
Stop what you're doing. Go get it at your library. Get it on Amazon. Get it free on Kindle.
45 minutes.
Okay, read it, because one of the characters, he was literally dying.
Yes,
and his friend offered help and a solution, and he was literally dying, and he did not take the solution.
Nope.
You know, what are we sitting just dying, just going to that 95 and just letting life just pass us by?
Yeah.
You know, or will someone like my wonderful sister here come alongside and say, hey, my brother, my sister, listen, let's put that side hustle together. Let's take some action. What are you gonna do? What are you
They say that the most potential in all the world is in the graveyard, because people take all their skills to the graveyard with you. You know, it's like, and like I said, don't get us wrong, guys. We're not on here like bashing 9-to-5s, but you know, it's one of those. Yeah, right. We're not bashing them. We're just saying that, listen, you know, we want you to have options. At the end of the day, this is for anybody who wants options. We want you to have options, and you know, that 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 skills that you're using at the job, you've got more than that. I promise you. You've got so many good things on the inside of you. I mean, I would just tell you, when I first understood about side hustles, I thought about, well, what can I do? Because I had never worked outside of a corporate job before. And the first thing that I remembered is that, man, I'm a good writer. I had done so many hundreds of resumes. I'm like, I'm good at resumes. And so I literally went to Upwork.com, which is a freelance website, and like put up a profile. And when I tell you, the first time somebody hired me to do a job, I was like, dang, there's all kinds of money out here. I was like, there's no shortage of money. If you have a skill and you know how to put that skill together and offer it,
absolutely.
I mean, there is no shortage of money. And so that was like an epiphany for me. And I just want everybody else to have that light bulb on. Listen, you know, if you're sitting there and, you know, you're not 100% fulfilled, there are some of you that you are totally fulfilled. Life is good. And you know, you have no need of any of this. I'm not talking to you, but if there's anybody who's sitting there who's saying, then there's got to be more to life. I am just sharing that there is. And you know, whether it's me or whoever you need, whatever type of coach you need or whatever type of support you need, we're just saying, take some action.
Take some action.
Power team.
Yes.
Get you a team.
Yes. Yeah.
Take
Get a
some
network.
action. Yes.
I would even start, and I know we're getting ready to conclude here, but I just want to start, you know, when you start building that team, start with like the resources that are already available to you.
That's right.
Okay. Facebook, you know, a lot of people, you know, that wouldn't be like my only stream. Right. But Facebook, they have networks and groups and where you can come in and, you know, there's some rules, you know, so make sure you read the rules, but you get to network and ask questions, right? So Faith, you know, you talked about having a creative coach and then a business coach. There are places and groups out there for people to connect with, you know, but just start. Just start. Just start. And we'll just conclude by saying this, you know, when you start, just know that everybody is not on board. Everybody has different opinions about how, you know, you should be doing things. But
don't let anybody pull you off that positive train, off that growth train. That's the one thing that I would just say, whatever you've decided to do, if you make a mistake, even if you fail utterly, listen, let it be your choice.
Yes.
That you went out there and you tried and you're like,
Yes.
hey, well, that didn't work.
That
I
didn't
know
work.
that didn't work, but don't not do something
Yes.
just because somebody else said, I
Said.
don't know
Said.
about that. Seems like a scam to me.
Yes.
Don't let somebody else make up your mind for you. At least you should make up your own mind and know for sure.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Yesterday, one of the analogies, he said there were 5 frogs sitting on a log and one decided to jump.
Yep.
It's so crazy because we're like, oh, there's 4 left. He said he decided to jump. He decided. So once you decide,
right.
you got to take action after that. Because you can decide all day. You can I want to side hustle, but the point, you got to take action. You got to take action.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you guys so much for joining us here on this live. Like I said, it's been amazing just kind of sharing our insights. Thank you for letting us, kind of spill the tea here all live. But yeah, like I said, if anybody is looking for a support in building up your next side hustle, like I said, that is what I do. And like I said, it's not just about finding a side hustle, because there are tons of groups out there with tons of ideas.
Yes.
My specialty is really in helping you find something in alignment with joy, purpose, your strength, because again,
your passion.
We want this to be up. We want you to absolutely love doing this, because the more you love it, the more income you can make. Like I said, the more, you're just going to come alive when you do this. And that's what I want you to walk away from this with. So
absolutely.
Any final words?
Just take action. If I can't say that enough, I've been talking to my husband, action, action, action. You can say it all day, you can think it all day, but the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you got to do something. So I just challenge you, think about it, take a moment, ask yourself those questions. Yeah. What is my investment? What's going to be my return on my investment? What's the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario? And how am I going to handle the worst case scenario? Ask yourself those questions and take some action.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye. Have a great Saturday.